Hey everyone, feels really good to be back again for our fifth session this season. Before we get started, I just have to say congratulations on this past weekend. Runners up at the section championship, second place, and qualifying for the state championships for the fifth time in a row, right? Wow, that's amazing. So I'm really proud of you guys. It's been a pleasure working with you guys this season, and you guys have just overcome some amazing obstacles, adversities, and look at you guys are at the state meet now. This is awesome. So 2 more weeks to grind it out together to not only prepare physically but mentally, right? So let's get going. Today, I'll be honest, I wasn't going to focus on self-talk, but we are. And the reason for this is because after talking to a few of you guys today, I sensed some disappointment. And not just, through facial expressions, but also through the way you guys kind of voiced your thoughts about the event. And I got a lot of, yeah, it went okay, or yeah, but we could have did better, and a couple of negative statements as we should have won. I don't know what happened to us. But looking at it on the brighter side, you guys qualified for the state meet. It is natural to have these negative feelings, and this is why I wanted to talk about self-talk today and about taking these negative thoughts, becoming aware of them, and then transforming them back into positive thoughts. Because then again, if we carry these negative thoughts with us forward all the time, they're going to bring us down slowly. They're draining. Can we all agree on that? Yeah, right? Being negative is more draining than being positive. So, before we get into talking about self-talk, before I explain what self-talk is, I want to talk about confidence, beliefs, and expectations. So first, confidence. Those who are confident perform better than those who are not confident. Can we agree on that? And a big reason to why I say this, why this is true, why I believe this is true, why this has been proven to be true, is because if you believe that you can do something, you most likely will have a better chance at performing that, right? Rather than if you go into a competition or you go into doing something and you're super negative and you're not going to do this, then you mostly won't do this, right? It's like the self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Usually what we think's going to happen probably will happen. So, anyways, this kind of goes into our beliefs. Who knows Roger Bannister? That was a dumb question, right? Of course, all you guys are going to know Roger Bannister. The first guy to break 4 minutes in the mile. Something crazy about this, though, that you guys might have not been aware of, is that nobody, at this time when Roger Bannister, this is like 50 plus years ago, at this time when Roger Bannister broke 4 minutes in the mile, nobody thought any human was capable of doing this. However, Roger did. And what happened after Roger Bannister broke 4 minutes in the mile? Does anybody? Yeah. Other people started breaking 4 minutes in the mile, and it became a trend. And look at today. The world record now in the mile is under 3 minutes and 50 seconds. That is amazing. So, the theory behind this is that once people saw that somebody else similar to them could do this task, then they believed that they can do it. And they started breaking 4 minutes in the mile. Positives and negatives. It's very important to be aware of not just our positive beliefs, but what generates our negative beliefs as well. Rational and irrational. Our beliefs won't always be rational, and our beliefs won't always be irrational. And what I mean by this is our beliefs won't always seem real to us, right? They're going to be a little tricky, a little unrealistic, but it's very, very important to recognize this. And it's very, very important to recognize what beliefs that we have that are very realistic, that are supported with facts. Expectations. What we think will happen, right? And these expectations can be developed from internal sources or external sources. So basically, internal sources, what the athlete expects, and external sources, what others expect. So, for example, what the athlete expects, I will break 4 minutes in the mile. And he can be getting an external kind of source and an external expectation from his coach who thinks he should break 4 minutes in the mile. So expectations, it's really important to recognize that expectations go hand in hand with beliefs. And the reason why I wanted to mention beliefs and expectations before we dived into self-talk is because constantly we have these ideas, right? We have these things kind of brought upon us. The reason we do things is because we are influenced, right? We believe in certain things. And I want to run 4 minutes in the mile, right? Because I want to run that. There has to be a reason behind that. Why do I want to break 4 minutes in the mile? Why is it so important to me? Or why is it that I can think that I can break 4 minutes in a mile? There has to be some kind of belief, some kind of expectation that has been generated behind this idea. These thoughts that we think constantly, positive or negative, they come from some sort of expectation or belief. My coach doesn't think I can break 4 minutes in the mile. That's probably why I think I suck and I'll never break 4 minutes in the mile. I keep messing up in races and running 4:04, 4:05. Well, maybe that's also another reason why I believe in I can't break 4 minutes in the mile, because I haven't been close to it. So, I want you guys now to reach on your desk and grab a handout. It's called My Beliefs and Expectations. And we're just going to quickly run through this activity. And what I want you guys to do is jot down your answers as I read over the question. And this is going to be for your own use to hold on to. And to go back and to look over your beliefs and expectations. Because as I just stated, it's very important to be aware of these things. So, first, list any successes that you see yourself achieving in your sport. What are these successes, beliefs based on? Why do you think you will achieve these things? What are your biggest fears? What are these beliefs or fears based on? And how do they make you feel? And then a few questions on expectations. What are your current expectations for your sport? Are they realistic and in your control? Where are these expectations coming from? Yourself, others? So I'll give you guys a few minutes to look over and answer those questions. Alright guys, so we're going to get right into the next part of our session, and that is defining self-talk, right? And going in a little more detail about what self-talk is all about. So first, self-talk. Our thoughts or the way that we talk to ourselves. Research has shown that the way we think affects the way we feel, which affects our behaviors. So as kind of discussed earlier, self-talk is this inner dialogue, right? It's the thoughts that are going through our mind. And it's very important to distinguish between positive, negative, and neutral thoughts. Positive thoughts can be, I'm about to go out there and break 4 minutes in a mile. I'm ready. I'm prepared. Negative thought could be, there's no way I'm going to get a personal best today. There's no way. I can't do this. I don't feel good. And a neutral thought could be, okay, it's time to go to the invitational today. That's just kind of a neutral thought. It's not really something that's vibrantly positive or vibrantly negative, right? Awareness. Awareness is the first step into creating a strong mindset. You have to be aware of these thoughts, right? As we talked in past session, awareness, it's the first step. You got to build awareness. So, if you're unaware of your thoughts, or being unaware of your thoughts is not always a good thing. We talked in the past how, not not thinking sometimes is when you had your best competitions. And I know in some individual sessions, I talked to a few of you guys, and that was one of the top things you said about peak performances. Man, I don't even remember what I was thinking because I felt that good. And you know what's the crazy thing? That if you were to probably go back to that moment, that peak performance, you probably were thinking, you probably were talking yourself through this experience. But you don't know. You can't remember. That's why it's a peak performance, right? However, it is very important to know how to be in control of your thoughts, because not every performance you're going to break out and have that great blackout peak performance where you tear it up. You're going to get these thoughts. You're going to lose focus. And you got to be able to control these thoughts. And you got to be able to use cues. And you got to be able to transform them into positive things that help you move forward to be successful. So, like I said, it's important to recognize what thoughts are causing these feelings and behaviors. Tools now to help build awareness. This is very important because it's hard to just build awareness by just simply talking about it. However, if you have stuff to reinforce it, if you have tools to go back to, then it makes the situation a lot easier, right? First, retrospection, kind of as we talked about, reflecting back and recalling. So I just want to do a little brief exercise with you guys. Everybody close their eyes, just for a second. Close your eyes. Pick one event this season, one race, 5K race. How about that? Most of your races are 5K. Pick a 5K race. What were you thinking before the race? Think of the positive thoughts. Think of any negative thoughts. Maybe any neutral thoughts that are kind of off topic of the event. Maybe you're thinking about your girlfriend. Maybe you're thinking about the people looking at you, cheering for you. The gun goes off. You're finishing up your first mile. What are you thinking? Try to take yourselves back and think of this time. First mile's ending. What are you telling yourself? Is it positive? Is it negative? Are you even thinking about the race? Now take yourself down to the home stretch. You're finishing up this race. What's going through your mind? Now open up. All right. So, first, I can bet that a lot of you guys probably couldn't even remember what you were thinking, right? Because it's really hard to go back to a past performance and to think of something, or to know what it is you were exactly thinking. However, this is also very important because by going back, you might catch on things you were thinking that were really important, and maybe that race you had a really bad race. And you can go back and be like, wow, I remember not even being focused at before the race started, not even thinking about what I had to do. Or you could go back and be like, wow, after the end of that first mile, I was totally talking negative. Or maybe you had a great race and you can go back and analyze your thoughts and see how you were talking to yourself, right? What were you telling yourself? What worked for you? What didn't work for you? So retrospection is really important. Reflection is really important. It's really important to analyze these thoughts, to reflect back, because we get so caught up in these routines. We get so caught up in just the physicality, just the grind, the outcome. Okay, I hit a time, I'm happy, or I didn't, I'm mad. But it's very important to reflect on the process as well. Self-talk log. You guys would quickly bring up the self-talk sheet. So, what I want you guys to do is to take this home, and I want you guys to jot down your thoughts, okay? And you got to record. This is going to be hard because running, it can be really hard. You can't ride as you're running, right? But there's breaks in between football and basketball, so it's easy to have a journal. So this would have to be done probably immediately after. So you would write what it is that triggered you, okay? When this happened, write down specifically what the thought was, any feelings. So, for example, did your legs get weak? Did your heart rate increase? How were you feeling? And then the behavior. So, I put an example, a basketball example on here. Missed 2 free throws, right? I'm going to lose my starting position if I keep this up. My legs got weak, my heart went up, and I got mad and slammed the ball. So, in your instant, say that you didn't hit your time on your last rep. Your heart rate decreased. You felt really lethargic, and you ended up storming off and going into the locker room. So that's kind of example. And I would like you guys to try to just fill out this front page. Not just with negative, but positive thoughts and neutral thoughts as well. So, also one more thing: reviewing video. You can also review video and then go back to certain areas. So review a race and then try to go to each mile, right? Or each lap and try to think of what it was you were thinking. Then use this for self-talk, skill building, changing bad habits, attention control, emotional control, and building confidence. So skill building, trying to enhance your skill, right? Maybe you want to improve your mechanics. Well, you talk to yourself when you're running, right? You correct anything which leads to bad habits. Maybe you heel strike a lot, correcting those bad habits. Attention control, like I said earlier, this is a sport where you lose focus a lot. So bringing yourself back to the moment by talking to yourself. Emotion control, say you're really angry. We'll try to calm yourself down by talking to yourself. And then building confidence, the first thing we talked about, very important. Make yourself feel good about the situation, talking to yourself positively. So, going into the last part, we got a few more minutes to spare. And before, I just want to teach you a couple ways to control self-talk. First, thought stopping. So basically what you do with thought stopping, a negative thought comes on. You hit it with it. You stop that thought by hitting it with a cue. It can be verbal. So something is relax, control, maybe the words fire. Physical, maybe you relax your shoulders. Maybe you relax your face. You end the grimace on your face. Or visual, you see a tiger or a lion. And then you place it with a positive thought. So that's thought stopping. So for example, say the thought is, oh man, there's no way I'm going to win this race. Well, maybe I think of a lion. I think of how strong a lion is. And then I replace it. I got this. I'm a lion. I'm going to win this race. Countering. Using facts and reasons to replace a negative thought. So, for example, I don't belong in this race. And you can replace this with, I had to qualify to get here. I have beaten some of these same guys before. So you're just replacing this negative thought. You're countering it, right? Bam, you're countering it with a positive thought, a fact, something that is written in stone, right? A reason. Last but not least, reframing. This is simple. You're looking at the situation from a different perspective. And I love to say this, the grass is always greener on the other side. And this is a perfect way to end our session by saying this. You guys didn't lose, or you guys didn't win the section meet. But hey, you have 2 more weeks to redeem yourself. You're going to the state championships for the 5th time in a row. You will see that same competition at your section meet. You have a chance to redeem yourself and to beat that team that beat you at sections. So, I had a really great time today talking about self-talk. I hope you guys took something away from this session, and I hope you're ready to move on to the state championships. And once again, I'm so proud of you guys. Keep it up. And if you have any questions about self-talk, and if any of you guys want to go a little deeper into this next 2 weeks in our individual sections, just let me know and we can do that. So, great job, guys. There's some extra handouts you can grab on the way out. And have a great week of training. And I will see you guys next week, and I'll see you guys in your individual sections. All right?